Okay, so I continue the tutorial on digital image processing, and I would like to introduce you a technique called masking, image masking. And we will use this masking a bit later on in one of a more concrete project about how to do word clouds, and I'm sure that you have seen that previously. And at some point in time, we can introduce masking in those word cloud. But let me give you some intuition of what is masking. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take two pictures, doc 6 and doc 8. So those two pictures that I have uploaded into my Google Colab. And you can see here that I'm creating an object called emg1, which contain the doc6.jpg image through this function open. So image is a module from the PIL library that we are using. And there is a function, and in that function you pass as an argument the name of the file per se. And eventually you are going to get, you create a new variables that contain this, okay? So emg1. And I will do the same with the second image, doc8. So I have image 1 and image 2. That's the second doc that I have put here. Basically, now let's create a mask. Okay, and here actually the mask will be, we have learned in the previous video how to create a picture. And so you use the function new and you apply, you introduce some parameters like the mode. Here it's a grayscale picture, so it's mode L, as I have explained before. The size here simply says that I want to create a new image that I call mask, which is the same size as those two other pictures. Those two pictures have the same size, and we have computed the size of this picture before. On this one, you can do it for yourself if you want. It's the same size, and we want to make sure that the mask that we will create is the same size. So the size is actually 980 pictures along the x-axis and 1,470 pixels along the y-axis. And the color, okay, it's a grayscale, so it's not, there is not three channels like red, blue, green, but there are basically only one channel, okay. And if you put 0 here, you create something, an image which is black. And you know, I could have written that this way, okay. You can either use this line or that line here. Okay, so you don't necessarily need to introduce mode is equal to or size is equal or color is equal. The function as it is written in Python actually understand that those are the three parameters that it needs. So if I run this, I'm getting, you know, like it's a picture which is all black, okay? And basically, if I wanted to reduce if I wanted to have it a bit less black, I could, instead of having 0, I could put 60 here. And now, okay, look at what I do here. We are going to compose a new pictures that include image 1 and image 2. Image 1 on the top, image 2 below, if you want. But image 1 will be masked by this picture here. So let's see what it gives us. So I have recreated the mask here with that value for you know, the grayscale value of 60. You can see here as well, I have put emg1.size instead of putting this value here. Why? Because both image one, this one, and two have the same size. Okay, so instead of indicating the size as a tuple with numbers, I can simply refer to the size of that image. Okay, so emg1.size is exactly the same as writing this size is equal to this, because emg1 has this as size. Okay, we showed it before. And if I run that, okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm taking image one, the first dog in green, and I mask it, and that mask image is overlaid on image two in the background, the brown dog. Okay, so I basically create a composite image. That's what we get. And you see, like, you see image two is this one, and image one is kind of masked. You don't really see it. You see that there is something else than the dog in image two. And then you can play with that. Okay, you can make the image one more visible by changing the values of the mask. If I put 130, it will be even less gray, going more toward the white. Okay, and by doing that, so I still mask image one with this mask, and I overlay this masked image on image two, but by changing this parameter, you are going to see that the first dog, the Dalmatian, is actually more apparent. Clearly, you can see it. This dog here is much more apparent than it was before. Okay, and you can even push it further. I put 200 here. So the dog is even more apparent. And if I push it to 255, what does it give me? So the mask is all white. Okay. And you see, if you do that, actually, you overlay a mask image of the first dog, this one, on the second dot below, but because actually by creating a mask which is actually all white, it hides. Nothing of image one is hidden. And basically you don't see image two. Okay, so I can come back here. I don't record the value I had given, but. Okay, and obviously, this technique of masking is in this case quite similar to blending two pictures together. So, if you want to blend two pictures, you would use the blend function from the image module of the PIL library. And so you blend image one and image two, and you change this parameter can go from 0 to 1. And the more you increase that value, and the less, try it. Okay, here if it's very small, it means that this image will be more apparent. 0.1, and you see, okay, this image is the first one is apparent, and the second one you hardly see it. So it gives you something quite similar to what you have here. And you can play with that. You can change the value, put it to 1 and observe what it will give you. Okay, try to think first and then do it. Okay, there are many different techniques associated with masking, and here I'm gonna create a shape mask instead of having like a rectangular picture which is of the same size as the other pictures, but of a unique grayscale color, like all black or all white, or having a intermediary values between 0 and 255. I can also experiment with a mask which has some shape into it. Okay, so again, I can create this mask as before. It's all black. The size, you can see the size is the same as the size of the two image for the dogs. And here, I'm gonna create, let's look what I have done here. So again, I recreate that mask so that this was useless actually, because I'm redoing it here. And you can observe that I'm using this. So this is the size of the first image, okay? So it forced the mask to have the same size as the first image, as the first dog, okay? And basically, now we are invoking this or using this draw function from the image draw module that I have explained in the second video, or the first video maybe, of this tutorial. So basically this, take the mask and will basically transform it as an object on which we will write something. In the very first video for this tutorial, we wrote some text, but instead of writing some text, we can draw something. Okay, like here I say, well, in the first video of this tutorial, we had something like draw.text. Here I simply put draw.rectangle, and I have tried with other things. You can, comment them in and then try to see what this thing does, okay? But I'm gonna keep this and remove this. And basically I'm drawing a rectangle. It's filled with a value 255, so it's white. The rectangle must, the top and the left will be at a pixel 340, 340. So that's this position here. And then I'm taking 640 pixels in that direction and 640 pixels in that direction. So let me maybe reduce a bit. But that's basically the image I'm getting. I don't know why I cannot reduce it, but if I so basically this line here says draw on the original mask a rectangle with these properties, okay, this position, and put only white pixel. That's the 255 that you see here. If I ask again, show me what is mask, okay, it will give you this. You may want to check, that actually the size of the two images and the mask are the same. And then we can actually now mask the first image, so the Dalmatian, using this mask now. So it's not all black, it's black, but there is some white pattern. And basically we mask the Dalmatian. So if you want to think of the Dalmatian picture, and all this part of that Dalmatian picture will be masked. So we will not see it in the final result, but this part here should be visible in in the combination of pictures that we are going to create. So here again, I'm using the composite function. So composite is to create a composite image of image one and image two, but image one is masked using the mask that we have created, the black rectangle with a white square in the middle. Okay, so if I do that, you shouldn't be surprised that we obtain this thing here. Okay, so I superpose on the second image this part of the first image. And of course, you know, the final combination is not very nice, okay? But I mean, you could choose relevant pictures to do something which is more interesting than this. Okay, and of course you can also do the opposite, like, you know, you can apply the mask to the second pictures. The second picture is in the front, the first picture is behind, but this is the second picture now, which is masked, so you would get basically no surprise here, you would get this thing here. Well, you know, make sure that when you do that, you have pictures of the same size. Okay, here I have another picture, it's a picture of Trump. So, you know, here there is a picture, Trump, that I have uploaded into my Google Colab environment. And I'm opening this picture through that function, and I assign this to this variable, so that now this variable indeed includes the initial pictures of Trump, okay? And you can verify, and now we are ready to work on this picture using a PIL library. So you can check the size, and you see that this picture is of much smaller size than those dog pictures. So you may need, if you want to combine a dog and a Trump, you may need to resize this to the original size of the pictures of the dog, or you could have done the opposite, like resize the dog to the image of Trump. Okay? But here, you know, you can see that I'm resizing through this function to which size? To the size of the second pictures of the dog. So this well, this one here, okay, without the mask here. And so I'm resizing to the Trump picture to this size, which is 980 and 1470. And I assign this to the original picture. So the original picture now has size, the same size as this one. Okay. And now I can do as before, okay, I can mask part of Trump and superpose that on image 2. So I have the second dog with basically the image of part of the image of Trump, which has been superposed on the dog. And you could do the opposite, of course. You could mask partly the dog and overlay this masked image on the initial image of Trump. You can do this. Okay, so Trump is here in the background, and the dog is takes the face of Trump. Now, Of course, here you have a very clear separation, and you can blur the mask in order to smooth the edge of what you are doing. So there is a technique, you apply a filter on the mask, and the filter is called image filter.Gaussian blur, okay, with some parameter values that you can control, you can change that. I don't recall the range, but you can try from 0 to 100 and see up to where you can go. And if I do that, okay, see, I have now a square which is a bit blurred, okay, and you can maybe use this blur mask on the second dog and superpose that on the Trump image. And you are going to get something which is a bit more blurry, okay, relative to this, okay? So you see the square is not as obvious. Again, okay, those, I could have taken more time to do more beautiful composition, but I guess you get the point of what I'm doing, and you can experiment with your own pictures. I'm gonna stop here, and then I will finish this rather long tutorial with this fourth part, okay?